What an awful soundtrack, isn't it? I mean, recorded in genuine lo-fi. We're revisiting Gilligan's Island. Chuck, you're on Talk Radio.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, every person in South Carolina.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Chuck.
Hi.
Hi, Chuck.
Now you've got enough highs. What's on your mind?
Well, the original theme song of Gilligan's Island, when the old black and white shows, they would go over everybody who's on the island. Then they would say, and the rest. Why did they have it like that, then change it later on?
Producer.
Because it was clearly evident that by the end of the first year, that Dawn, who was Mary Ann, and Russ Johnson, who was the professor, were absolute stars of the same magnitude as the others. And so in fairness to them, and I must say they didn't ask. And
They didn't ask?
No, they never asked. I just made a judgment.
That horse's head that was in your bed.
Russell, you didn't do that, did you?
Michael, you're bad.
What was that what that was about?
Chuck, I hope that answers. Steve, you're on Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I say hi to Bob when he gets in.
Well, when he comes down to earth.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've always sit and laugh on Saturday mornings at Gilligan.
Together, isn't that
That's
nice?
terrific.
Yeah.
Three of us enjoy it, and the humor then was so much better than I think what's available today. You guys were terrific, and the endless supply of batteries. You know,
And clothes.
you're making a radio out of a couple of rocks and a piece of wire off the minnow. That's great.
That's what a good professor does.
You bet your life at the coconuts, too.
One question. Alan Hale, did you live in Van Nuys, and does Jim Backus live in Napomo?
Does Jim Backus live where?
In Napomo, up here in northern Santa Barbara County.
No.
South San Luis County.
No, he lives down here in Bel Air, actually.
Okay, because
What difference?
there's a Jim Backus Realty up here.
Listen, I'm told there's another Michael Jackson. Do I believe it, though?
Oh, I'm a Toyota dealer down in the south of California.
Are you really?
Alan Hale, yeah.
Thanks for your call. Professor, very quickly, what was your favorite episode? Nobody asked you.
Oh, I had a nice episode with Zsa Zsa Gabor.
I know, I mean on screen, sir.
On the screen, in which Zsa Zsa puts the make on the professor, and professor being a kind of an asexual man, just talked to her about
I'm very sorry about that.
Lepidoptera and that kind of thing.
Really?
I was sorry about it too, but boy, I was a good actor.
You are, right?
I am.
Alan and Natalie and Dawn and Russell, would you all do it again or not?
Yes.
I would. Sure. I'd love to.
Absolutely.
They very well might, because we're talking about
Just a moment.
Are you?
Yeah, show.
Would you use the same cast?
Yes, and all of them have children in this new episode, in this new 2-hour show.
And grandchildren, I hope.
Yes, you will have a grandchild.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you,
I enjoyed
Michael.
it very much.
Thank you,
Until
Michael,
tomorrow.
very much. Wonderful to be
Ahoy.
aboard.
Let's keep rowing. Until tomorrow, I'm Michael Jackson. Bye now. God bless.
Right in there.
I got you.
Pardon me.
Sorry.
The boys are going to tell you. Get in here.
Trouble without you, we wouldn't have it. Wait a second. It went off by itself. That's why my mother takes pictures. Okay, now hold it.
Now you know where we got those funny lines.
Okay, you're.
God created all men equal. As he said that, Roger Moore walked by, and the other guy said, and then he made Roger Moore. So later on in the evening, I said, Roger, you got to hear this story. I told him. He said, yes.
Gotta get your head to know who you're dealing with.
But Roger can get away with it.
Oh my! I got one more.
Okay, you
One more.
Oh, wow, one-handed.
Sean, I want to pick one you and
Allowed together?
Well, get a BB and kiss.
Sure.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's very public, and it's at 9 o'clock. And
Good friends with my
Good
high school drama
ex-knock is
teacher
going
and
on.
voice
I'd
coach.
love to know that. They're also going to be late shows.
Thanks for coming down. They're going to the gym.
Oh, that's bad.
sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, if you need that.
What's not doing?
Here you go. Take mine.
I got it.
I'll do whatever I can.
Thank you.
That's glorious.
The professor and...
Thanks, you guys
I'll call
holler
for you while you're on.
Oh, God. Yeah. Holler at me sometime. We can friend you.
You got it. Oh, wow, we got another one over here.
I don't think I shan't use it.
Thanks.
Just give a call down there.
Are you ready?
Thank you.
I'll be able to late show.
You wear heroes.
Expert guest will guide women, married or single, to finding
We didn't talk about the
keeping it alive.
stock exchange thing last night.
I didn't know about it.
Well, we should have right now.
I'm not just saying that men.
Exactly. Everything has its place. That goes in the refrigerator. The only brand I thought.
For Southern California, the home of talk radio, AM 790, KABC. Time that
7 minutes after 1 o'clock. I'm Michael Jackson on Talk Radio KABC. Welcome to another hour of conversation. This one's going to be busy. And the first half, well, let me put it this way. The nicest thing to happen to me all day happened a moment ago. I got the chance. The opportunity to meet one of the world's foremost actresses, be it on stage, where I think I'm correct in saying she's received more Tonys than any other performer, 5 at last count, on the movie screen or on television. She's adored and respected by her colleagues, here fellow thespians, and admired so much for so many truly great performances by the audience. I speak of and now speak with Julie Harris. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Michael.
Has anybody ever introduced you and not mentioned the Tonys?
Not recently, no.
Are they an inspiration to get another one, or do they make any darn difference?
Well, it's very exciting, and sometimes it almost seems like it's who are they talking about? That's not me, but because I think of each of those plays, and there's a special wonder connected with each one of them. Plays like The Last of Mrs. Lincoln and The Belle of Amherst, really wonderful times in my life, and that you get a prize for it is just...
Why do you work so hard?
Why do you, Michael?
I love it.
That's the answer. I love
Aren't I
it.
supposed to ask the questions?
Yeah, but I love working too. That's why I work so hard, because if it doesn't seem like hard work.
Does it get easier?
No, the actual realizing a part in a play doesn't get easier, but it's always fun.
Thank you. Good luck.
Particularly at soccer, they act differently at their sport than we do at baseball.
Why do you think that is so? You know, my glib comment was that they do it on the field in this country and they do it in the stands in Europe.
Well, I think there are some big differences. One, you get a lot of the baseball teams in this country are relatively new, 25-year homegrown talent on the field. So it's much more of a community-oriented, it's us, Manchester United against not as much.
What do you think about the line I brought up with Linda, that she bought, I think, only because we're friends and colleagues, that I said, I thought that it was the one shining moment each week in the...
Much so. It's in a lot of the areas of England, it is a very collar sport, and it's the only entertainment that those people can afford to go to. One thing I had an idea...
Hi. Real quickly, I wanted to ask you, would you be interested in earning some major overtime tonight?
Like after what time?
It's 7:30 to 10.
Can't be here that late. Gotta pick up my wife.
You have things to do. Okay.
Yeah. Or she's without a car, and I.
Well, I understand. I just thought maybe
Short notice. It's not so much the OT. I would help you. Obviously, there's a need, and under those circumstances, I would find it difficult to say no, except that this short notice.
Well, I understand.
Sorry. What's doing?
Rock line.
Oh boy. Double B. How are you?
All right.
How's Biz?
All right. How's my man in there?
We haven't heard him yet. This is his first segment on.
Oh.
John?
Mm-hmm.
You want to? Oh, you're taping there. I was going to say you could. 10 seconds. You can use a microphone adjustment. Let it be all right.
I'll be glad to.
Talk Radio, WGBS, Miami.
I'd like to give out some phone numbers and then share an experience. And meeting with a man who starred in over umpteen films?
Oh, umpteen at least.
Umpteen at least, about 150, I mean.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Wow.
Can you believe that? Do you have an accurate count?
It's hard for me to imagine that. I think it's certainly over 120. But then, Michael, there are also variety shows that I've done.
Yeah.
Little TV spots. If you accumulated all of that, it would be a considerable amount of man hours.
There would have been no time for anybody else to have been on.
Well, there certainly wouldn't have been. I don't know how I managed getting married 3 times, having 6 children, innumerable relationships with women, owning all those cars, painting.
How long does it take?
There must be 6 of me.
I do, I did, I will, and thank you. I mean, that doesn't take long.
Maybe not.
Our guest is artist Tony Curtis. 1-800-423-TALK. 1-800-423-TALK. That's Radio 79 here on KEDD. Let me give it to you one more time. 1-800-423-TALK. I'll get to those phones. I'm Michael Jackson, and you're listening to 1550 KEDD. Is entertaining still gratifying to you?
I think Fresno.
Oh, absolutely.
That sound right?
So, I mean, art,
I don't know.
being an artist of the painting variety hasn't replaced all this. It's an addition.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's a never-ending experience, isn't it? The living experience. It's always unfolding. It's like the skins on an onion, perhaps. It keeps peeling off. And then there's a new vista, a new thing you want to accomplish, a new living experience. That's been my experience now. I've just turned 63 years old.
Have you really?
Yes, and I find it unique in the sense that all of those stories that the older folks used to tell me when I was a kid were not true at all.
What was it said, though? You said the onion. The analogy goes, life is like an onion.
Well, I figured that out. I figured out that, that each day, well, I won't say each day, but, each life experience is a new one.
Just wash it with your regular hair and sleep on it all the time.
Would you share it with a man named
Frank?
Frank, where did this thing be growing on you?
I was kidding. Come on.
Oh,
come on.
No.
Frank.
But you liked it.
I thought it scared me.
Thank you.
No.
It was a scary movie, wasn't it?
Now, one more thing. Tell me about the Defiant ones. I'll hang up and listen.
Okay.
Okay. The Defiant ones?
Stanley Kramer?
Yes, Stanley Kramer, Sidney Poitier, myself, Theodore Bickel.
Did you wear an artificial nose in that?
Yes, I did. We did I used a different nose. We used contact lenses. What was the name of the guy that played Alfalfa in the Carl Schweitzer? He was in the movie. He died only a couple of years later, in a poker game. He was caught cheating. Can you imagine? A guy pulled out a 45 and blew his head off.
You're being serious?
This is the truth story. This is our little Carl, who used to sing with that funny voice and a missing tooth. He played one of the guys chasing Sidney and I. We did that up in Kern Valley, on the Kern River.
That was considered to be revolutionary and brave then.
Well, that picture, when it first came out, didn't play in lots of parts of our country because of the black and white relationship in it. I liked the movie. It was a very important movie for me. Something that I was glad was made. Sidney was just beginning as an actor in those days, and they gave him that part, and I said he has to share the top billing with me because we were both chained together, and we both were given an Academy Award nomination for that picture.
If only one of you had been nominated,
it would have been better.
If only...
If one of them, they would have had a better chance.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but they couldn't separate us.
See, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking not just that, I'm thinking Some Like It Hot, Sweet Smell of Success, I'm thinking of even things like The Boston Strangler, Operation Petticoat,
yes.
Which is more difficult, fun or serious? You know what I mean. Yeah. Time for a final quick call. Walt from Birmingham.
Hey, glad to get on. Hey, Tony.
Yes.
Enjoyed Tarzan in Manhattan.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and I think I've seen your first picture.
Which was?
I'm not sure, A City Across the River.
That was it.
First talking one.
The first talking one. I was in the silent movies too. No.
I've been married 39 years, and that was...
to the same woman?
That I had with my wife.
I applaud you, sir.
I applaud her.
Yes, absolutely.
Remember the book that was from?
Yes, it was from the Amboy Dukes. Remember that book?
Yeah.
Schulman, I forget, Irving Schulman. He wrote 3 books. City Across the Amboy Dukes, The Big Brokers, and then there was one other book in which he wrote.
There was, to me, the incongruity of you appearing opposite or with a Larry Olivier, and yet you two really make it together, right?
Yes. Incredible.
Talent will out. It doesn't matter what you come from, what your background.
No, it doesn't. We had the scene in Spartacus.
Yeah.
Larry and I, Sir Larry, charming man. And we were taking a bath together.
Yes.
We're sitting on this set. Hundreds of people. I'm scrubbing his back. And I'm saying, Larry, how did you get started in the movies? And he's giving me, while I'm watching it. We had the best time.
Well, so did I with Tony Curtis. Good luck with the
Thanks
answer.
a lot.
Thank you for joining us too briefly.
Michael, I appreciate your help.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Tony Curtis.
Good, wasn't it?
Yes?
No, not everybody.
Not everybody?
Not everybody.
Don't fall down.
It'd be worth it.
Look at it. Bam!
Hey, you remember that movie too, see? Yep. Thank you.
See you later.
God bless
Goodbye.
you. Bye.
Thanks again.
Thanks.
Okay.
They were.
Yes, they did.
Or is it a case of Patty Davis having written a book and ostensibly they were?
You're listening to KABC Talk Radio AM 790.
Time right now is 10:07. We're into the second of 4 hours together on KABC. My name is Michael Jackson. A line I've just thought of to include in the introduction of our next guest is not only unfair, and I just said that off the air, but it's also inaccurate. But let me use it anyway. And can we talk? Was she not the Kitty Kelly of comedians? Thinking through her humor, and she's dished it out for a couple of decades or more. Her humor can be pretty savage. I mean, ask Elizabeth Taylor.
Yes, but you can't ask Elizabeth Taylor because she's an icon now.
An icon?
Yes.
Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, well, poor thing.
Yeah.
They found Jimmy Hoffa in her hair.
Jackie O.
Jackie O, smartest woman going to marry that old pig.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm worried about Kitty Kelly.
I would fake orgasms too.
Yeah. Yes, and you were there. How about Rosalind Carter?
No, just the child. Amy Carter.
How, anybody fat?
Yeah, anybody fat, including me, though.
You've never been.
Oh, a family of 4 could live on my thighs. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Oh.
Now, still?
Not now, still.
No. But when you were Joan Malinsky?
When I was Joan Malinsky, I had a gym suit that said pass and don't pass.
And who else? Almost anyone, right? Yeah. I mean, you're adored on stage, adored as a top TV talk show host. You have never, you've never invited me as a guest, but that's okay. She's a writer, a director, a semi-legend.
Semi-legend.
What's wrong with being a legend?
A legend, you really have to be somebody. You know what I mean? You really have to. Semi-legend, you can laugh about it.
Oh, okay. Do your jokes hurt people?
No, and if anyone gets hurt, I take it out of the act. No way.
Honestly?
Honestly. If anybody would call me, I used to do jokes on Willie Nelson being fat, and his daughter called me up, wrote me a letter rather, and said, please don't do it anymore because it hurts me, the kids tease me in school. Came right out. I'm not out to hurt anybody. I say it in public what people say in private.
You're very disarming, because in person you look so vulnerable.
I am vulnerable, but not on stage.
No.
You cannot be vulnerable and be a comedian on stage. You got to be in control.
Is it much easier to be a man and funny than be a woman and funny?
I think. You're wonderful. I love you so much. I think you're the best. You're the Rolls Royce of this whole group.
How very lovely.
Yeah.
That, you know it's mutual, my feeling.
Well,
and
I thank you.
And
Give the pin to the wife.
you don't think I'm going to win?
I thought he was talking about tomorrow.
No, I wouldn't put my name in it.
There's a sense of this. I think you are.
Refugees.
Thank you so much.
The United Nations cannot say anything publicly yet because of concerns about Iraq's sovereignty and that sort of diplomatic.
That's great.
But in fact, the UN is going to take over the UN built.
Thank you, Michael. See you soon.
That comes as a great relief to the
Thank you. Do you mind?
administration,
Oh, you're so
especially to the
Thank you, John.
Pentagon,
Goodbye.
which does not want U.S. soldiers to
Thank you, John. Have a good day. Morning show we have Ken and Barkley. We have at the beginning of the hours we have like celebrities, politicians doing a quick voiceover show. Do you want to do that?
Sure, if I can say, I watch me on channel.
Oh, that's good for her.
It's great. I think she's using her phone.
Thank you very much.
It's Tanju. Hi, you ready?
Ready here.
It's the real one. You want 2.9 financing?
Have you done many call-ins?
Oh, a couple. Huh?
You did Larry King.
Well, and I've done a bunch of others.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. This is the real thing.
Okay, good.
Take it with me here.
Oh, he learns fast.
Y'all want to come or stay in here? Whatever you want to do.
I might take a look for a minute.
Come on in. Come see our American Airlines motif.
Good morning,
Right, you would?
We'll give him 1 second.
You can sit on the couch if they would like.
A deadly gang of thieves is on a rampage. A slightly shady antique dealer named Lovejoy has identified their next hit. Moore House, but not that can. Don't miss Lovejoy on any longer. If he can keep her falling, I'm sorry. Watch Lovejoy tonight at 10. What was it called? On A&E.
For the ABC Information Network, I'm Gary Nunn.
Mexico tourism.
Who's ABC?
Yeah, isn't it a wonderful thing?
The phone lines are burning up.
This commercial book horror.
Yeah, please, this is on NBC.
Talk radio.
Why every other word would be my book.
This really is a Veterans Day. We began with Colonel David Hackworth. Just a reminder, following the news, at noon today, we'll have one of the better-known Marines, Art Buchwald, here in the studio, and many don't realize that, but he truly was a Marine, or maybe once a Marine, always a Marine. In our third hour, we're going to take a look at the history of other wars, ranging quite literally from World War I up until the present time. And there'll be other subjects as well. How do I set the scene for our next guest? And I just said to him off the air, if he feels I'm inaccurate, please jump in and correct me. It was 13 years after President Nixon released the Watergate tapes when impropriety raised its head in the form of the Iran-Contra affair. Many people shook their heads and thought, to quote the New York Yankees,
God, he makes notes in interviews.
It was deja vu all over again. Anyway, the scandal erupted when it was revealed that the American government had secretly sold arms to Iran, and that the funds from those sales were diverted to Nicaraguan rebels. The sales took place with direction from the administration, the Reagan administration, but the president claimed
What do you think he's writing?
unaware of the deal. Then a national security...
How much he's going to make?
Another book deal.
was called to testify before...
He's writing a new book.
Or how to screw somebody else out of their country and honor.
Set up to investigate. And he testified that he didn't carry out a single act without the authority of his superiors, which specifically implicated the CIA director William Casey, who died in the scandal's early days. Despite charges that he broke the law, Colonel North became, to many, a hero, and to some, maybe many, a villain. Anything I said there, Colonel North, that's inaccurate?
No, Michael, I think you're right on, except for one little minor nuance. When we talk about diverted, one of the things that is a creation of the extraordinary events surrounding my abrupt dismissal on the 25th of November 1986. That word diverted was never used by any of us involved in it, and in fact what we did is we took profits from the sale of arms, not the monies that were due to the U.S. government, but monies that were in excess of what was due to the U.S. government. And I suppose if we diverted it from anybody, we diverted it from Monitor Gorbani Farr and the middlemen who were involved in this and did apply to help the Nicaraguan system.
We decided to go the patent route.
I'd love to. I really would love to. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, gang. Can you do it? Did you want to do one, Louis?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Well, if he's going to wear a jacket, I can.
Guest rape section.
Over by the tree?
Or you want to do it by the, or judo?
I just
wherever you want.
watering that.
From the real estate agent's point of view.
Michael, fix your tie.
What? Don't speak to me like that. I'm a decent old man.
The 1992 Buick LeSabre has it nicely viewed by a car.
One of us is a colonel.
Just hold it down.
The others are not. But then a colonel is.
Let's do a handshake. This will ruin his reputation.
My wife's a Republican, don't forget. It didn't flash.
He's shaking with his right hand.
It's a conspiracy. There it is. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you all.
Thanks very much.
I gotta get down to a speech.
Town hall.
Yeah. Huh? Good. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you like the coffee.
Sure.
All right. Can you imagine?
Let me do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be terrific.
Thank you.
Where can I just rest on?
Right down here.
Okay. Where are you on?
Let's see. You need to send a...
Just sit, yeah.
Go straight. You'll eventually get out.
Something to write on. Desk for a chair.
There's one right around the corner, right here.
There we go. Good.
Right here.
For Phil?
Yes, Phil.
P-H-I-L.
P-H-I-L. Former Marine from Vietnam.
All right.
Is a huge fan of yours.
There's those two people. There you go. They'll understand that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
All set.
We're set. Right this way, Colonel.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you.
You sure you don't mind this?
No. Depends on what you're going to do with it.
There you go. Straight ahead.
All set?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hey, Mom.
You got it.